Welcome back, everyone, to another explainer. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're actually taking a standard dictionary entry and, well, transforming it into a dynamic detective's journey. We use words every single day without really thinking about their deeper mechanics or the real-world actions they represent. So today, we're putting on our investigator hats to explore a concept that answers two of the most fundamental questions we can possibly ask. Who is this, and what is this?
Section 1. Solving the identity mystery. Okay, so let's dive right into a super relatable scenario. Imagine you're walking down a school or office hallway, and you spot a stray backpack just sitting there, all alone on a bench. Naturally, you want to be helpful and return it to its owner. But right now, it's just an anonymous bag. It's a complete mystery. So you take a peek inside, hoping for a clue. And right there, in the front pocket, you find a student ID card with a clear photo and a name printed right next to it. Boom! Suddenly, the mystery is solved. You can look at the face on that card, read the name, and know exactly whose backpack you're holding. You've successfully connected the physical object with the right name and person. And that specific, incredibly satisfying process of making that connection, that's called identification. Now, before we go any further, I want you to actually practice saying it out loud. Seriously, building muscle memory is a fantastic way to anchor a brand new concept. The pronunciation is identification. Go ahead, break the fourth wall and say it right out loud wherever you are right now. Identification. Perfect. Section 2. Deconstructing the word. Let's take a look at our starting point from the Wordsmyth Dictionary. It shows us exactly how this noun functions in the English language. Notice how it actually gives us multiple definitions. It can mean the act of identifying a person or thing, or the state of being identified. But it can also refer to a physical object, a means of proving one's identity, like a driver's license or a passport. It's pretty fascinating how just one single word carries these different yet deeply connected meanings. Now, what's really interesting is looking under the hood at the word's actual parts. It contains the Latin suffix ification. As the dictionary evidence points out, this is a noun-forming suffix that literally translates to the act or process of making or becoming something. So when you stick it together with identity, identification literally means the act or process of making an identity known. Section 3. The act and the object. So the crucial point here is that identification essentially lives a double life. In one scenario, as an action, if you're out bird watching and you figure out that the bluebird in the tree is a blue jay, well, that mental process is the act of identification. But in another scenario, as a physical object, say you go to the airport and the security agent asks for their identification, you aren't going to perform an action for them, right? You're going to hand them your passport or your driver's license. But despite these two completely different uses, they're united by what we call the living core of the word. Whether it's a mental action or a piece of plastic in your wallet, identification is always about making identity clear. It's about figuring out, showing, or proving who or what something is. It bridges that gap between the unknown and the known. To really grasp this, we have to contrast it with something similar. Imagine you're walking in a garden and you spot a bright yellow flower. If you simply say, "Wow, what a pretty flower," and move on, that's just observation. You're literally just noticing it. But if you stop, pull out a botanical guide, closely look at the petals, and determine that it is a specific type of daisy, that requires active effort. That is identification. See, observation is passive noticing, but identification, that's active solving. Section 4. Identification in action. Let's see how this builds with a little field assignment. Imagine a science class studying the local forest. First, the students collect leaves from different trees. One has points like a star, another is long and narrow, and a third has rounded edges. Second, the teacher hands out a tree guide and says, use the shape, color, and edge of each leaf for identification. Third, the students actively compare their collected leaves to the pictures in the guide. They match the star-shaped leaf to a sweet gum tree in the book. And finally, step 4, they make a positive identification. They've figured out exactly what that thing is. Because this concept is so incredibly vital, we pair it with specific words constantly. The dictionary source lists these common word combinations found out in the wild. For example, you'll hear personal identification when setting up a bank account. You absolutely need accurate identification in a science lab. Police might rely on visual identification or fingerprint identification to solve a tricky case. And of course, international travel always requires passport identification. Seeing these groupings really helps us understand just how heavily our society relies on proving who or what something is.
Section 5. Test your knowledge.
All right, let's look at 3 quick scenarios. Which situation truly shows identification? Is it A, simply saying a flower is pretty? Is it B, using a field guide to figure out that the flower is a daisy? Or is it C, drawing a flower from imagination? Think about our difference between observation and active solving. The correct answer, of course, is B. The student is actively using clues to uncover an identity, which perfectly aligns with our core definition. Honestly, if you only take one single thing away from our explainer today, let it be this simple yet powerful phrase: identification makes identity clear. Whether you're finding the owner of a lost backpack, naming a bird in the wild, or showing your driver's license, you are illuminating the truth of who or what is right in front of you.
I want to leave you with a provocative thought to carry with you today. Try to fill in this blank. Identification is important when... How does this actually apply to your life? Maybe it's important when you're trying to protect your online accounts. Or maybe it's important when you're out foraging for mushrooms in the woods. Look around your world today and notice how often you're acting as a detective, making the unknown known. Keep learning, keep investigating, and we will catch you in the next explainer.